morning and welcome to Inspiring Women by the Women's Centre. I'm Kim Simonic and I'm the host today. We've actually got a lovely guest here today of Lynn Tinkersley, but we'll go to Lynn very shortly. We're going to start off first off. We're very grateful to Vicky Simpson from Professional Real Estate, who has actually sponsored this program and enabled us to bring people like Lynn into the studio and talk about what their services offer to our community. I'm today dressed by Dress for Success. My lovely dress here is actually by Dress for Success, but we couldn't get a jacket to go with it, so I've worn pink in respect to the breast cancer. So this, breast cancer is out there in the last week actually collecting, and we've had a couple of our girls actually out at TNCC collecting on Saturday, so I hope you called by and saw Francis and Carol. So please remember, breast cancer is really important in our community as well. So Dress for Success is really fantastic. I look really nice and flash. And today I have got the gold shoes on. So everybody who voted for the gold shoes, well done. I like them. And I'm trying to tell Mel that they suit me so well that I can't hand them back at all. So Lynn, welcome to the program. And we're so pleased to have you as part of our team today.
Thanks, Kim. Thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome. Lynn, you do such an amazing job here with the food bank. Honestly, you inspire me so much. You're such a humble person, but you do actually inspire so many people in our community.
Well, I guess that's good that I inspire people, but I don't really do it for that. I do it because I have a passion for helping people, and I just like working with my hands quietly in the background doing stuff. So, yep, that's me.
Yes, working in the background's quite good. I agree with you. Working in the background quietly, just getting things done is just the way we work, isn't it, Lynn? Mm. So Lynn and I actually worked together, we're not going to say how many years ago because it will let you know how young we are, at Kandahar Rest Home as caregivers. So we've actually worked together for a number of years there as well.
We sure have, yep.
So, and we had lots of fun, lots of laughter.
Especially on night duty.
Those days on night duty up at Kandahar were definitely a laugh. So you've moved on from caregiving and you've moved into the food bank and you've actually sorted the food bank out. You've shifted premises. You've got new shelving in. It's actually amazing to see on how that food bank has transformed in the last 12 months.
Yeah, well, it was having to move with the times, Kim. We really had to change things, and so we've become more agency focused. We've realised we need to be accountable to our community that we serve, so meaning that we're agency focused. We focus on the agencies ordering the parcels rather than people coming in off the street to get parcels. Sure, people can still do that, come in off the street, but they are limited in how many parcels they can get, whereas through an agency they can get unlimited parcels, one a week if they need them.
That's really good because that's actually not done many other places in New Zealand, is it?
No, apparently it's not. Last week we had Polta Williams here and she said she didn't know of any other food banks that were agency focused like we were. 75% of all of our parcels that are ordered come through agencies, which is huge. We've sort of crept up, started at 25% about 5 years ago and now we're up to 75-80% of parcels from agencies. So
that's fantastic that agencies are getting involved and supporting you, which is really awesome, and supporting the people that are getting the parcels, which is the most important.
It gets them into people's houses. They can carry the food box into the kitchen. They can help unload it into people's fridges. So they're really seeing what people have got and what they really need. We changed our motto a few years ago to helping you to help others, because that's what we want to do. We want to help all the Masterton community, whether it's putting an item in the bins at the supermarket each week or actually getting the agencies coming in to get a parcel for you. That's what we're there for, to help you to help others.
That's actually really good. We actually held a community kitchen the other night, which is cooking for families in crisis and freezing down meals through the community centre, and we actually had one of your volunteers come in the other night and was talking about things, and she said one of her questions, because we were talking about coming on the radio and saying, what questions have you got? And one of the questions is what food do you want in those boxes at the supermarket? There's been so much publicity about don't want tomatoes, don't want this, but honestly, what is on demand at the Marsden Food Bank?
Right, well, all year we take any food. We don't turn anything away. There's no rumours at Masterton Food Bank that we don't want cans of tomatoes. We buy cans of tomatoes, because it's part of our meal plan. We give out pasta and that sort of stuff so they can add a can of tomatoes to them. So we just accept everything that comes in the door. There's possibly just one thing that is grapefruit, and that's about the only thing that we put it out the door and people help themselves there, but we don't actually put that into parcels because so many people are allergic to it. But everything else we take, fruit, veggies, canned goods, just anything, baking, meat, as long as it's been processed through a butcher. So in the parcels, they're getting a box of milk, spaghetti, baked beans, fruit, tomatoes and pasta sauce, soup, veggies, beetroot and fish in season, a jar of jam, packets of cereal, toilet rolls, tea bags, sugar, noodles, eggs, rice or pasta, margarine, meat or pies or sausages or something, fruit and vegetables if we've got them available, and plenty of bread and biscuits and cakes, of course, to fill those kids up. So that's our basic food items. Things we don't buy, which we really like to get, are sanitary items, coffee, peanut butter we don't buy, and that's really nice to put in the parcels, toothpaste, toothbrushes, those sorts of things, and, detergent, soap powder. So it's really nice to get those sorts of things occasionally. At the moment, of course, we are gearing up for our Christmas hampers, and we encourage people to think about food rather than toys. Some ideas we have are reduced cream and onion soups. That's a really nice thing to give out. Christmas pudding and mince pies. Shortbread biscuits, jellies and instant puddings and personal items. Christmas crackers is another thing that's really nice to get. And, of course, always coffee. We love giving out coffee.
That's really good. Now, we've got a Valentine's fashion show coming up on the 6th of November. It's $10 a ticket. You can get your ticket from the Wairarapa Community Centre. But also on the night, we're going to have a basket there so that you can actually give to the food bank, because it's a great opportunity to actually give to an organisation that gives to others.
Yeah.
The Wairarapa Women's End is about empowering women to empower their families and the community. When you go and grocery shopping, sometimes just to drop another can in the actual box.
One thing.
Just one thing a week. It doesn't actually hurt the budget, and it's just giving a family that's really struggling at the moment a chance to have a good, wholesome meal. So remember that, guys. This is what the food bank's about, is actually giving the wholesome meal. But Lynn has actually taken on the role as centre coordinator, or the coordinator of the food bank, and it's actually a role that's been involved over a short time of you volunteering, them getting funding for you to be able to be in that role. And it's actually an important role to be able to coordinate volunteers, coordinate the food coming in. You've got wire waste coming in. It's a huge role that you do. How many hours a week do you work?
Okay, well, yes, it's been 12 months now since we decided at Food Bank that the volunteers' job of coordination was just too big and that it needed to be a paid position. So I'm paid for 15 hours a week, which, gets me in there three hours each morning, but of course I do a lot more than that. But that's my volunteer side of Food Bank. I've been involved with Masterton Food Bank for about 20 years, so I've seen it certainly evolve from doing half a dozen parcels a day, and now we're sometimes doing 20 to 30 parcels a day, so it's grown huge. But part of my role as the coordinator, of course, is to ensure the smooth running of Food Bank from start to finish. Really, I'm the person on the floor all the time, so that's my role. Nobody else is really there all the time. We've got people who are our chairperson and treasurer and secretary, but I'm the person who's on the floor. So, yeah.
That's actually really good, because at the end of the day, Lynn, somebody needs to be there because there's so much food coming in. There's food that needs to be purchased. There's different ways of being able to get food into the food bank, and Lynn is actually fantastic. You can come and have a talk to her. I had a talk to her about our Christmas breakfast and said, how can we get stuff? And she said, why don't you get us some Christmas stuff? So there'll be a basket there for our Christmas women's breakfast as well. So, we use your services. We're always in getting parcels, and it's actually really good to take those parcels into families and actually work with them. And what I love is picking up your recipes.
Oh, right, yes.
And just saying to somebody, have you tried this? So that they're trying something new all the time as well. And it's actually understanding what they get in their parcel, how they actually work with that as well.
Yes. We had a Teachers College student. Do you want to do some music? Or you're right, Kim. Had a Teachers College student come in and she suggested the recipes, and she's actually put most of the recipe sheets together, and they're just fantastic because the whole recipe relates to what's in our food parcels.
And that's really important because you've got to understand what's in those parcels to be able to set meals up.
Yeah.
And it's actually really something that you go and pick up a parcel and you think you're just going to go and pick up a box, but there's 2 great big boxes of food come out, quite often depending on the size of families. And, to have that delivered when you're distressed, when things are going really bad and you just don't know a way out of it, is actually really good.
Yeah.
So we also put people into budgeting service, see what their finances are like.
Excellent.
Sometimes it could be just that they've had a change of role in their work, that they've actually also had another child and the expense of that, or somebody's come down sick in the family.
Yes.
And that's a huge one.
The unexpected things is what pushes the families over the edge. Yeah.
It is. It is.
Car breaking down and things like that.
Or a flat tyre, anything like that, because everything like that comes out of your food budget.
That's right.
Recently had a woman who needed to go to the doctor. Every time she went to the doctor, that was coming out of her food budget. So it's just remembering that these families are not making that decision to be in that
No,
place.
that's right.
It's actually things that are happening in their lives. So remember that, people, that these families are actually they're struggling to put the dollar together, and just one little bit like a washing machine breaking down, purchasing a new washing machine is what actually does it. So by getting a food parcel, the money that they put into food can go into that sort of thing as well.
Yes.
We also work with work and income, making sure that their benefits, or if they're on a benefits in the correct way, that they're able to get all their disability allowance and everything like that. So it's actually what we class as a wraparound service around them, checking that everything else is going right. And sometimes it could take several months to actually slowly work things out for them. So we're going to cut across to music now. We have got, for the first one, Fleetwood Mac. I'm a big Fleetwood Mac fan, and we're going to have Gold Dust Woman. Okay, maybe not. That's not going to work at the moment for some reason. I'm also going to check.
It's all fine, you just have to turn your mics off.
back again and we're learning this new system. It's been great doing the radio, but the TV's still a little bit more confusing to us, but we're coping. So if there's a few things going on, just give a giggle because we're having a good laugh back here as well. So we've got our Valentine's fashion show on the 6th of November, and it's $10 a ticket and you get it from the Wairarapa Women's Centre. Last year I was a model, and all my 6 outfits actually had this jacket with it. So my jacket this morning's from Valentine's. Thank you to Karen and the team. Our models are from social services this year, so we've got them from Literacy Aotearoa, Dress for Success, through to Te Whina Youth Group, through to Connecting Communities. So keep a look out on our Facebook, because we're actually going to have our models coming up, and we're going to have a bit about these services as well on the events page, and it's also a good chance for services to join. We're working in collaboration all the time with services in the community, and that's what's really important. And Lynn, you're working in collaboration all the time with services in the community, and it's actually a wonderful service within the Wairarapa that we get.
Yeah, we try. Well, we work with so many people. We sort of call ourselves the mothership, mothership for the Wairarapa and South Tararoa as well. Yes, we work closely in Masterton with Y Waste, of course, who share our building. All their produce comes into our building, so they have a room where their little scales and etc. are. We share that area with them. We also, of course, collaborate with lots of other organisations like the Community Kitchen, the people at the Women's Centre, other people at the Community Centre. We have excess food at the end of the day, or excess food comes into food banks, so we're always providing it out into the community to different agencies. We take a lot to WINS, to the Resource Centre, King Street Arts, supporting families, and of course occasionally we get excess things like heaps of eggs, so they then go round to the rest homes, and it's really, really lovely to be like Mother Christmas and take them round. We also supply Pahiatua, Ekatahuna, Carterton, Featherston and Martinborough food banks with excess food as well, so it's really lovely to be able to do that for the Wairarapa.
That's great, Lynn. You know, we got a call out the other day. There was lots of eggs. We've got a car boot sale coming up for Chanel College, so I'm busy making meringues at the moment. So, you know, awesome. It's a great opportunity for fundraising. Yes, out there in the community to do it as well. So it's fantastic. Yeah, and thanks to Energy Eggs and Countdown and New World who donate us eggs. That's where they go. It's really lovely. It's fantastic. You know, without this, the community would really be at a loss. So, Lynn, also you'd be at a loss if you didn't have your volunteers. How many volunteers a morning do you have on? Okay, so each day probably involves about 6 volunteers. We mainly have about 4 on a team, but we also have other volunteers doing other things each day. All up, we've probably got about 50, and they probably do about 120 to 130 hours between them each week. We aren't really looking for volunteers at the moment. However, we always welcome people in. We have got our streetwide collect coming up on the 13th of November, which happens annually, and we always need volunteers at that time. And then between then and Christmas, we always open our hands to extra volunteers walking through the door, as there's just so much to do. Yeah, I look forward to spending a day with you, Lynn. I'm going to come and follow Lynn one day and actually do a video following Lynn and what she does for a day. Yeah, she doesn't know that, but then I've been talking to Elise at Y, so I'm going to go out with her one morning as well and just record what goes on out there, because it's a great opportunity, because they go around to different grocery shops. But I was talking to one of your new volunteers the other day, Jane Amundsen, who was in helping us with the Community Kitchen, and she was absolutely amazed on how she was welcomed into the team at the food bank, how she actually really felt she said she walked out feeling really good that she'd helped somewhere, and the team was so supportive and encouraging with her as well. Oh, good. Oh, that's excellent. I was away when Jane arrived, so that was nice that they welcomed her in. It's really great to have people like Jane coming on board.
Yeah.
So what do your volunteers do while they're there in the morning?
Okay, so we have a team leader who arrives about 10:15. She takes the messages off the phone. All our messages come in by phone. They're left on an answer phone, and she makes up the list of parcels, and then the team arrive about 10:30 and start packing. The public doors opened about 11 a.m, so people can come in and start picking up the parcels, or if they're on the street and requiring a parcel, they can come in and order one after 11 a.m. We also have heaps of volunteers who pick up bread and other things around the community. Of course, we have our great team of our chairperson, secretary and treasurer, and we have a grants coordinator as well. We couldn't do without Simon doing our grants. So we're very, I'm just so blessed with the team at Food Bank. They're just amazing.
So who's your main funders? Let's give your funders a good push.
Okay, well, of course, lotteries, Marston District Council, COGS, Eastern and Central, they'd be our main funders. Yes, we get lots of other funding, of course, from Trust House and other smaller organisations, Lions and Rotary throughout the community. So, yeah.
Great. And if you're a business out there in the community that does actually have stuff left over, don't hesitate to give Lynn a call, because they'll come and have a talk to you.
Yes.
And it's good to be able to, no matter how big or small your donation is, every little bit counts, and every little bit's helping a family in our community.
That's right.
And that's the important.
We have LJ Hooker and Wins who do Jeans Friday each week, and in order to do Jeans Friday they bring one item for Food Bank, so that's a really great way that they've been able to get involved with Food Bank. So yeah, if your business wants to do something like that, we'd be really, really grateful.
And recently the colleges and the schools did a day.
They did.
And that was just an overwhelming response that you got.
It certainly was. Fraser Mailman and Bex Johnson organised that after my talk at Marston District Council. They saw a need and they got all the schools involved, and we had a great collection. It was almost like a mini street collect, and we're still using some of that food today to top up the parcels with, so that was just brilliant.
I think it's good understanding for these younger ones to understand these families in need in the community.
Yes.
And that giving to the community is actually really, really important.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't take much to give. And so that's really, really important. A lot of people sort of think, oh, wow, giving time as a volunteer. But actually, it's actually not about just giving time as a volunteer. You actually grow in yourself.
Yes.
You grow in confidence at dealing with people. There's customer service. There's, like you say, phone calls, dealing with people all the time. So it's actually a good opportunity if you're also, unemployed and looking for work. It's a good opportunity to volunteer anywhere in the community.
Absolutely, yes.
And I'm a big one. I've worked with students, and it's like, actually, you know what? That's your stepping stone to employment, because you've got somebody that can say you turn up at the right time, you do your work, and continually doing that. And we do that with our volunteers. We've got a youth buddy at the moment from Volunteer Wairarapa, and Marina's actually been doing our articles in the paper. And last week she couldn't do the article, and it was actually quite hard to sit back down and actually write an article that I did, because it's been so wonderful having somebody else's going around the different organisations, and she's been going around social services. I know Lynn's on her list to do very soon, but it's a good opportunity for services to actually be out there. It's also a good opportunity for us to show the services that we work with as well. Continually, we go to our community networks, Wairarapa Community Network, and they're a great chance to meet new people too.
Absolutely, yeah.
So, it's really good. So our sponsor, Vicky Simpson, they at Professional Real Estate, they're actually also, remember, Dress for Success drop-off. But Vicky has got a Facebook page, so remember to actually check out that what you want to do. If you're looking at selling a place, and nowadays you don't just put your house on the market like you used to. There's so much more. People are looking for professionally looking homes. So it's a good chance. So do your research before you go and say that you want to sell a home, and then be able to promote your home in the best way. And it's like everything else. We're always promoting ourselves, Lynn. We're always promoting ourselves out there in the community. How does the Food Bank do it?
Well, actually, we're quite quiet out in the community. We actually have had people donate to us because we don't go and sit on the street corners. We just quietly go about our business of doing what we need to do. There's not. I mean, I'm promoting us this morning, but we really don't promote ourselves. We've got the bins at the supermarkets. Sometimes we hand out leaflets at the supermarkets, but that's about all we do, really.
It's actually sometimes that quieter approach is actually the way to do it, isn't it?
Well, yes, it's been around for such a long time. We've been there for 30 years, unfortunately. The need has grown, and we've risen to that need with the extra funding available that's been given to us, which has been fantastic. But, really, we don't want a food bank, but it's something that we really need in our community.
And of course, with the changes that you've had new great big shelves and everything built in there. So you've had a team of guys and they're building your shelves and extending your area of storage in there. So it's great. So guys, I think for Christmas our challenge is going to be let's fill Lynn's shelves.
Yes, that would be fantastic.
Let's fill them. Let's overfill them. Let's overflow those shelves. So remember, guys, if you walk past the food bank, nobody's standing there asking you for it. You don't have to even be seen, just quietly dropping a piece of food into that. Yep. Or you can stand there and take a photo and load it up onto our Women's Centre Facebook. Here's a challenge, guys. If you drop a piece of food off into the food parcel boxes, take a photo, load it up onto the Women's Centre Facebook. Let's see on how many people can do that this week.
Awesome. So you've got Pack and Save, New World and Countdown bins to fill up. Lovely. Would love it.
Awesome. Let's keep these volunteers working hard. We're going to go across to some music now, and it's Marion Burns. Marion Burns came to the Golden Shears several years ago, and I actually got to be her chauffeur for the weekend. And it's called Time for a Change. So it's time for a change, guys. Time to put some food in those food parcels.
We laughed and we listened, we loved so well, but it seems so different now. It's time for a change. We'll kiss and say goodbye. And although there is pain, we know that we tried. Through all the years our song has changed. We've moved on our separate ways. The distance between us has caused us to see the awkward thing about you and me. It's time for a change. We'll kiss and say goodbye. And although there is pain, we know that we tried. Here, my love, is my wish for you, that your heart will be in the things you do. Live life to the fullest and set yourself free. Be who you want to be. And who knows what the future may bring. Perhaps a new love and a new song to sing. Maybe we'll never be lovers again, but who knows in the end. And it's time for a change. We'll kiss and say goodbye. And although there
Welcome back. It's great to have Lynn here this morning. We're finding out so much about the food bank, but honestly, Lynn's got so much more. But first, we've got our icing nights in December, 27th of November. We have got limited spaces on our icing night there. That's playing with fondant, and that's having lots of fun. I've actually been quietly online buying different moulds and that, so we can do a lot of moulding and playing. On the 12th of December, we looked at mini Christmas cakes so that people that have actually been and played with the fondant can come and learn a few more icing techniques. And the fine scrolls, it actually takes quite a bit of hand control to do those scrolls. So we're going to do the mini cakes. Remember, those are filling up fast. We've had people this week book in because they missed out last year. So it's only October now, and these courses are filling up already. So if you want to book, remember to email us and we'll send you the bank details. Otherwise, check our Facebook events because it's on there. Lynn, you're actually a very busy lady because not only are you involved in the food bank, you're involved in the shelter as well.
Yes, a few months ago, a group of us got together and decided we really needed to do something about the people who were homeless in our town. So we had a criteria of who was sleeping on the street, couch surfing or sleeping in their cars. So those three criteria. We decided that we wanted to set up a night shelter for them. Unfortunately, as yet, we haven't been able to do that. But in the meantime, we've set up a day shelter, which is providing hot meals, washing clothes. We've had washing machine and dryer donated. And hot showers. And so people come, we're open Monday, Wednesday and Friday from 1 till 4, and people who fit those three criteria come in and get themselves washed and clean, and we have a stock of clothes, or they just sit in front of the fire, watch a movie or something. There is a pool table there too, so we just have a great time. And yes, it's sad that we've got these people on our street, but this is certainly one thing that we've been able to do to help these people temporarily. We're still looking at wanting to have an emergency night shelter, so we're still working on that as well.
I think this is a brilliant idea. I also volunteer with Master Miniature Train in the park, and the number of people that actually sleep over in the park is huge. And when we actually have a function over at the train, we have people sitting on the seats waiting for us to get off the island so they can come on. And so it's a good opportunity. I know very soon I'm going to go for a walk one night. So all the social services, Lynn, have been given tickets to give out?
They have, yes. We wanted, we wanted this to be agency focused. We wanted it to them to hand out little tickets that welcomed the people to the shelter, told them where it was and what was available. We didn't just want it word of mouth out there in the community. So we've kept it very quiet. So it's just, again, been agency focused. But if you know of anybody who fits those criteria, who's sleeping rough, couch surfing or sleeping in their car, please let us know at Food Bank and we'll be able to follow that up and give them a ticket so they can come into the shelter.
I have my tickets in the car all the time because, you know, you're driving around at night and you see these people looking very lost and looking for somewhere to sleep. So it's a good opportunity to get them out at that stage. As I say, we're going to go for a walk over the park. We did the rejuvenation of the island with all the paths over there, and we were getting rid of toys, and when we went to go and burn that down, that had actually been pulled together in the middle, and it was like a teepee, and there was paper and cardboard and everything on the bottom, and somebody had made themselves a teepee over there. So, you know, it's saddening that we've got this in the community, and it's good that there's been a committee formed to do this. So who's on your committee for this?
Okay, well, it's a lot of passionate people, mainly just general public. We do have a couple of people from churches. We've been involved with, had Craig from Trust House and MSD people involved. Mental health people have come to our meetings. The Emerge Housing people have been showed us that they are interested, but still they're just so run off their feet they haven't been able to come. But yeah, just passionate people in the community, church people mainly, or people who are just passionate about feeding and looking after the homeless. And we've opened it up widely, like Marsden District Council get all our minutes, and Lynn Patterson and Kieran McAnulty are great supporters, just saying, keep up the good work. So we keep them in the loop as to what's happening. But yeah, it's been really amazing. We've had men and women coming in, and Monday's usually our busiest day. We have between 7 and 10 coming on Mondays, and they, just amazing to be able to provide that for them. And they've got big smiles on their face, and some of them are getting to really trust us and talk to us, which is really great. And we've been able to help some of them get into homes. But as we keep reminding ourselves, we're not social workers, we're just there for that, providing that service.
Exactly, we're exactly the same. We're not social workers, we're support people.
Yep.
Support people in the social services, and we actually refer to social workers, and we make that quite clear. We're not social workers, but at the end of the day, you don't need to be a social worker to make a difference in the community.
Absolutely.
You can make a difference in the community by showing somebody that you care.
Yep, a hug. These guys love hugs, and I love hugs, so I'm very free with my hugs.
We won't tell Hayden that. We'll just keep that quiet. But at the end
Hayden's right beside me with the shelter. He's there every day with me. He's amazing. Yep.
As they say, behind every great woman there's a great man, and I tell you what, that's so right with Hayden. We were down at Farmers Market one day and talking about what things he wanted to finish at home, and he's like, yeah, she keeps putting these projects in front of me, and you are a driver into these projects. And Hayden is very good. I know exactly the same, because I've got a husband that's got me into the Golden Shares and into the Marsden Miniature Train, so it would be nice to get him. We do get him into the Wairarapa Women's Centre occasionally. He comes and does dishes for us for the community kitchen. And I've got my son sitting here right now laughing at me because he gets dragged into cooking. But it's actually the main important thing is actually families working together, and
yes.
This is the contact that these people from the shelter are not getting.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. Yes, it's when the Empire Lodge got pulled down, it really left a big hole in the Marsden accommodation. There's just really nowhere for people to go temporarily, and we've been rung by many agencies, probation, Whaiora, who've got people who need accommodation right now. It's usually a Thursday, Friday night, and MSD can't get them accommodation till Monday or something like that, so these people are homeless for 3 nights. And so the emergency shelter that we hope to get up and running will provide that gap in our community.
So Lynn, we were talking one day about with the regulations for the shelter. A lot of people think that you can just go anywhere in town for the shelter, but there is regulations for that shelter as well, isn't there?
Yeah, we've kept it very private. It's a private thing. It's been run by passionate people who really want to help these people, and it's not a thing you want to. It's not a public arena for people who are in this position. So yes, we've kept it very quiet.
That's really good, because at the end of the day, that's gaining that trust by doing that, which is really, really important. But for people out there that want to help, remember that there is actually a need in the community. It's a need in the community because unfortunately housing is really short in the community as well. And it's a situation in our community that really saddens us, and we're working with every day.
Yes, that's right.
And when you go home to your own home at night, you're so grateful that you have a roof over your head. It is really a real sad thing. I worked with a young girl that was bipolar that ended up sleeping in the park because she had nowhere else to go to, because unfortunately she didn't want to be near her parents. And it saddens you, and that was years ago. So, it's been happening in our community for a long time. It's not just been something that's happened now, it's been happening for a long time. So, Lynn, it's really great that you get into this. The shelter has meals from the community kitchen from the Wairarapa Community Centre as well. And, we had great fun the other night down at the community centre. There was 9 fantastic volunteers that came along and were community cooks. And with that, we made 143 meals of quiches and stir fries. We had this wonderful lady that rang us up, and I'm sorry I haven't got your name today. Do you want cabbages and cauliflowers? Well, a great big container of cabbages and cauliflowers came in, and Jane was so wonderful at cutting. Jacob gave up cutting cabbage because honestly he said after 3 cabbages he'd seen enough. Jane stood there and cut them, and we had a wonderful team who actually stood on 3 frying pans for the night. 3 hours of cooking stir fry.
Wow.
So those
Amazing.
meals were packed really tight. We had
Yes.
a wonderful lady called Pip who did the onions, and she just kept doing these onions and never cried one time. If I went near her, I was crying. So thanks, Pip. But we also had a dad and his daughter come along, and his daughter was like, I don't want to leave. This is how much fun. So this is why we were talking about the other night, we couldn't make the sticky date pudding because the oven was so full of all these quiches that we had no room for the sticky date. So we've come up with this idea, we're going to do a Christmas bake-off. I haven't got a date and I haven't got a venue yet, so we're looking for a kitchen so that we can actually get in. But I will say there will be an entry fee. It will be something to go towards the food that we're going to bake that night. It might be sultanas, raisins, butter, might even be the Christmas mince, fruit mince. So we're going to do something like this, something different, and actually have a big night of cooking for the food bank. What do you think of that, Lynn?
Oh, fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Kim, it's really lovely being able to put home baking into the parcels. And I tell you what, the people at the shelter absolutely love home baking. And when people can't help run the shelter, I say to them, why don't you make some muffins for us? And so they drop in baking for the shelter. So no, home baking is just so appreciated. Thank you so much.
So Countdown last year actually brought us a cupboard and actually supplied us with a cupboard with ingredients, and all last year we actually cooked biscuits for you, and it was really great to have these biscuits come in. And of course our famous photo goes around everywhere of us with a big box of Christmas cookies. We had Alistair Scott come and join us last year, but we had youth there as well actually cooking, and it's great to have the different generations come in and actually helping the families out there in the community, which is really fantastic. So we're also, we've got Vicky, our sponsor, and we've got to do a bit for our Vicky. Vicky has been busy selling homes around the community and is always looking for new homes. So if you're looking at selling, please give Vicky Simpson a call at Professional Real Estate. She'll come around and have a talk to you. She's a wonderful person. I've known Vicky since our children were young. So Jacob and Corbin used to hang around together at school, so, primary schools, and now they're at college. So it's been great seeing Vicky progress, and this is actually an inspiring woman. She's not in social services, but she's come into business. She's worked hard, studied hard, and has now got herself a successful business.
Cool.
So Vicky Simpson is a fantastic person to go and see. Thanks, Vicky, for sponsoring us. It's really fantastic. Without Vicky Simpson, we wouldn't be here today, Lynn, to be able to pass on what we're doing.
Yep.
So it's fantastic. We're talked about the shelter, but there's so much more. We've got a very busy lady that pops up in all different places in the community. We've got Lynn, who's also at the farmers market on a Saturday morning. Lynn, would you like to talk about that?
Oh, okay. Well, it's my retirement plan, Kim. I grow native trees, and we've been selling them a little bit on Trade Me, and now we've set up our own business at home. That's going to be our retirement plan, and so we sell our native trees at the Wairarapa Farmers Market at the Farriers car park every Saturday morning. We're there every weekend of the year on Saturday morning from 9 till 1, selling beautiful, everyone comes together selling lovely Wairarapa produce. So it's a really exciting place to go. We have music, we have stuff for the kids, a really lovely place to be. So yep, that's my little out place is to do trees and get my hands dirty.
Good one, Lynn. We're going to go across to Fleetwood Mac now, Seven Wonders.
Touch my hand on the way
Good morning, everybody. We're back again, and wow, we're ready to wind up time. It's been great talking to Lynn this morning. I found it so informative. Lynn, would you like to tell us how many parcels you gave away in the last couple of months, please, so people understand how much food's going through your area?
Okay, Kim, so I've listed the list of food that goes into the parcels. So each day we're packing approximately 20 parcels. Now, some of those parcels might be feeding up to 16 people. We've got a couple of houses with 2 or 3 families living in them. We've got mum, dad, who've got their own 3 children, and then they've taken in other children as well. So these parcels are feeding big numbers of people. So when I say 20 parcels a week, we may be feeding, well over 150, 200 people each week. It's really sad, I know that this is happening, but in August we had our busiest month ever. We packed over 350 parcels and we fed 1,407 people, averaging 17 parcels a day. So it's a big thing, and it all just runs like clockwork. The volunteers are amazing. But yes, so unfortunately our stats are increasing, so we need more and more of your lovely community support.
That's right. So remember, guys, we're going to do the Fill the Lynn's cupboards, and we're going to do that. Remember, every time that you put an article in the food bank containers, take a picture, put it up on our Facebook. We're going to actually put an area where you can do it on.
Challenge people, yay.
Because I think this is really awesome. Jacob and I are going to go and do it straight after the show here today. So we're going to be the first to put it up.
Yay.
And we're going to fill those cupboards. And what we're going to do at the end of it is we're going to take photos and make sure that those shelves are filled, because that's what's happening in September. See, imagine what's going to be coming up with Christmas.
Yes.
There's going to be a huge demand for Christmas.
Yes, there certainly is. We're working in collaboration at the moment, of course, with the lovely Masterton District Council team, with Bailey and her wonderful helpers who organised last year Pack the Bus with transit coach lines, and it's going Wairarapa wide this year, and that's happening the end of November and the beginning of December throughout the Wairarapa. The bus will be parked up. So Pack the Bus is really, really great, encouraging people to think about food as well as gifts. Gifts are great, but think about Christmas food that would be lovely for those people to have on Christmas Day, and add them to Pack the Bus as well.
That's an awesome idea.
Yeah.
That Pack the Bus is actually marvellous. We've already got knitters out there doing teddy bears.
Oh,
that
lovely.
We're going to be doing little knitted teddy bears. Tia Fina Knitters Group actually did us a lot, so they go to little bundles, as well as we've got them go for Seasons for Growth, which is our grief program for the primary schools. So we've actually been making sure that we've got extra knitters going. Awesome. And we're going to be doing some teddy bears. So we call them Cuddle Me Teddies, because I think a lot of the times that's what kids actually need. It's just something to cuddle.
Yeah.
Lynn, you've not only got that, but you've got the Wairarapa Street-wide collection in November as well.
Yes. 13th of November is the Streetwide Collect Night. It's throughout the whole of the Wairarapa. You'll hear all the sirens going, people, and that'll remind you that, hey, it's that time of the year where just go through your pantries, clean your pantries out the week before, and just have bits and pieces that you're not using, just pop them out at your gate and the collectors will pick it up, and then it all goes to Masterton Fire Station, gets sorted by the wonderful collectors there. We're so grateful to the team from Rotary and all the service groups, the ambulance and fire people who go around the streets picking it up. And we just have a big sort up and it goes back to food bank, and that helps us to get all these wonderful 200 Christmas hampers we did last year. I know we'll be doing a lot more than that this year. But yeah, as well as our 100 parcels each week, we're still doing the Christmas hampers. So help us out there, people.
That sounds really awesome. And remember, guys, keep an eye out on our events, because we've got our big bake-off coming. And so if you're in the supermarket, look for something that you can put in Christmas mince pies or something like that. So, Lynn, thank you very much. This has been such a wonderful morning. Always good to catch up with you.
Thanks, Kim. You're wonderful. And thank you, everybody in the wonderful Wairarapa. It's just gorgeous living here. Thank you for your support.
So, people, thank you very much. And remember, we want those photos, putting those food into the food box. Thank you very much.
Okay, guys.
Bye.
Bye.